That mass murderer over there in Israel, the white man, is not the real Jew. He's an imposter, man.
Right.
He's an imposter. And they spent big money to try and stop us from coming out in the streets and telling you the truth, man. But they're not going to stop it. Until death, they won't stop this. You know why?
Right.
This is God's word. And if it's of God, you're not going to shut this down. Netanyahu, read on.
Come. Or who shall bemoan thee?
Who shall bemoan me? Who's going to bemoan us? No one does. Every other race on the planet has an advocacy group, has someone in the United Nations that can plead their cause, that can get them aid. Where's the advocacy group for the so-called black man in America, the Latino, the First Nation? Hell, there is none. The Native Americans have their own land, quote unquote. When the so-called white man in around those areas, they go on and they kidnap those women like 90 going north, man. It's an epidemic of missing and murdered indigenous women. Missing and unalived indigenous women. Who will bemoan us? No one will, but the priests and prophets of God. Right. The servants of Christ here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth, which you're hearing about today. You know?
Come. Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest?
Who's going to go aside and ask how you do? Who's going to go into the ghettos, into the barrios, into the reservations and ask how we're doing? Who's going to go into South and Central America and ask how we're doing? Nobody, man. Your pastor won't. Read that again.
Come. Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest?
Who's going to go aside and ask how we do, man? Who's at the ground level speaking and talking to the people who suffer and die every day in this country? The blacks, Latinos, and First Nations, no one, man, but the priests and prophets of God, doing it in the true way, with the laws, statutes, and commandments of God, and with the rhetoric and the doctrine that God had instilled and wanted to be laid out on this earth, man. Read on.
Come. Verse 6. Thou hast forsaken me.
Read on the last part of verse 5 again.
Come. Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest?
Who's going to go aside again? Who's going to go aside and ask how we do? Who's going to consider our needs, our wants, our wishes, the stress and hell and trauma we've gone through in this place? No one but the priests and prophets of God. Again,
that's right.
We got food here on the table, man, free of charge. Come get some food. We got water. We got chips, we got fries, and chiefly we have the truth of God. That you are the chosen people of God, and the earth is yours. You are the earth. Black man, Latino, and First Nation. Drop that, take me to Isaiah 51 and 19. No one's asking these questions. And no one's demanding the pastor, okay, your leader, the man you look up to on YouTube, or whatever, app you're looking for guidance and wisdom. No one's asking these questions. No one's going down to the ghetto, to the downtowns here in America and saying these words and speaking these words. The truth according to the Bible. Isaiah 51 and 19. Isaiah 51 and 19. Again, we teach the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans and the Jews according to the Bible, and we are here for you. We are here to serve you. We have off today. We don't have work, most of us. We can be doing anything else. We are here talking and teaching you the truth. That you are the chosen people of God, not that mass murderer over there in Israel. Read on.
Come. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 51, verse 19. These two things are to come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee?
God said that two things would happen to us, and who will be sorry for us? God's asking a rhetorical question because we all know the answer. No one on this planet feels sorry for us, man. Everybody feels sorry about the Israelis. Everyone feels sorry about the Palestinians. But listen, the tactics the Israelis use against the Palestinians is exactly what was done in West Philadelphia against the MOVE organization.
Right.
The tactics that were used by the Nazis against the Jewish people are the same tactics that were used against black people, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, in the reservations. The idea of the concentration camp comes from the reservations, which are concentration camps to this damn day, man. The Nazis got all their ideas of death and torture from how we were treated here in America. You can go look that up. That's a direct quote from the Nazis. They studied how we were treated in slavery, and they studied how the white man treated the Native American. They copied it, and they used it on the Jews, man. The fake Jews. Salakia, excuse me. Who's going to bemoan us? Read that verse again.
Come. These two things are to come unto thee.
These two things, go ahead.
Who shall be sorry for thee?
Who shall be sorry for us? Continue.
Come. Desolation and destruction.
Desolation and what?
Destruction.
Desolation and destruction will come upon us. The white man in Israel, is he desolate? Hell no. He makes other countries desolate though. He does that. He's about to make the Middle East desolate though. Desolation and what else?
destruction.
And destruction. We are destroyed as a people, man. We believe we're Africans. We're not a single boat with a shea butter, not a shea butter boat, not a yam boat. No boat was sent here to get blacks from Trenton, from New York City, and return them back to Africa if that's our true homeland. It's not, man. It's not. No one feels sorry for us, and no one bemoans us. No one considers the condition that we're in here in America. Like I said, we live in third world conditions in this damn city right here, in Philadelphia, in New York City. We live in third world conditions, and they're sending hundreds of billions of dollars of aid to Ukraine. Ukraine can get a check, but 40 acres and a mule? Oh, forget that. That's a problem. You're talking critical race theory now. Give me a damn break. We could have got 40 acres and a mule the day after slavery ended, but they didn't give it to us. You know why? Because they hate us. They're our enemy. Chinese, the Arabs, the so-called white man, the Caucasian, they're our enemy, and they've shown it time and time again.
Right.
It's high time we get away from their culture and into our culture.
Right.
Our culture just so happens to be listed in the most widely circulated book on the planet Earth, the Bible, the book called the Bible.
Right.
We don't.
And the famine, and the sword.
And the famine and the sword. We don't make our own food. We don't make our own food. There's food deserts in every ghetto, in every barrio, and every reservation, man. Famine, dearth. And that happened to us literally in many areas, like the Devil's Punch Bowl in Mississippi. They put us into a pit, and many of us starved to death, man. Down there in Natchez, Mississippi. You can go look it up. The Devil's Punch Bowl. Famine, the sword. What's the modern day sword? The gun. Who's dying of gun violence heavily in America? Black people. Black people, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Right.
We're dying by the thousands, by the tens of thousands each year due to gun violence. The sword. We don't.
By whom shall I confront thee?
By whom shall I confront thee? How am I going to establish justice for what's happened to you? Black man, Latino, First Nation. We're going to show you here in the Bible all day long. God is going to render justice for us against our enemies by his hand. He's going to send his son, the one you know of as Jesus Christ, who is a black man according to the Bible, to exact vengeance for us. He's going to smack these nations in the teeth. He's going to destroy Israel, China, America, Mongolia, Africa, etc. And he's going to raise up a so-called black man, Latino, First Nation in Trenton to rule the damn world, man.
That's right.
What do you want from me? Give me Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 8. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 8. This is what we have to teach. This is what we're going to be talking about all day, Trent. Again, we've got food here on the side. We've got hot dogs cooked by, in my opinion, a Michelin star chef. Where's he at? In the car. Up-and-coming Michelin star chef here. We got chips. We got condiments. Come down and get some food, man. Get a flyer. Check out our classes. We got classes Monday through Friday in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're setting up to have in-person classes here in Trenton, New Jersey. ISUPK Trenton. You can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, etc. Read.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, America has dealt unrighteously with black people, Latinos, and First Nations, man. Redlining, what do they call it? Gentrification, lynching, Jim Crow laws, okay, etc. They've dealt unjustly with us. The 3 strikes rule. That's not the. I'm paraphrasing that rule, but you get my point. Because of unrighteous dealings, read on. Dealings, injuries, and riches by the deceit. Injuries. Read that part again. Injuries and riches by the deceit. Read from the top. Verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealing, injuries and riches got by deceit. Injuries. They've committed injuries against us, man. Stealing our identity. Pouring crack and heroin into our communities. Now saying weed's legal. They haven't released a single Negro out of prison for selling weed yet. Right. But now it's legal. Now it's cool. Too bad. You're going to sit and still do 40 years, man. That's an injury, man. That should be retroactive. All those men that did that should be out of jail, men and women.
Right.
But they're not going to do it. You know why? Because the prison industrial complex makes tons of boatloads of cash off of our labor in those institutions. Okay? And that's an injury. And riches gotten by the sea. They got the riches of this country were first gained through slavery. We were the first commodity in this place, man. We were the first thing traded on Wall Street. One of the first things traded on Wall Street. Insurance was started to insure slaves, the ships, and the human cargo that was carried on those ships, man. We are the riches that built this country. We are the treasure of this country, so you can understand. And we still are to this day. And they've stolen, and they've gotten their riches by deceit, by lies, by theft. And they've stolen it from our hands, black man, Latino, First Nation. Because of that, we're going to read what's going to happen to a nation like this. Read on.
Oh God, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom, it gets translated from one people to another. America's going to fall, man. America, the white man is going to lose his empire for how he's treated black people, Latinos, and Native Americans, and God's going to strip it from his hand, man. God's going to strip it from his hand. He already is. The economy's falling. War is breaking out in the Middle East. They're getting ready to have war in China, etc. So when it falls, we now know why it's falling. It's falling because of unrighteous dealings. And who's been more unrighteous on this earth than America? Who's been more unrighteous? You can go check that out by turning your damn TV on. You don't have to listen to us. Go check out what they're doing in Israel or in Gaza right now. Those are heathens. Those are not our people, but they're being dealt with unrighteously, man. And chiefly they've done it to us, black people, Latinos, and Native Americans. So because of that, this kingdom's going to fall, man. America's on its way out. Trenton's on its way out. And the kingdom that's going to be built after is never going to end. And that kingdom is for blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans to rule, man. That's the truth.